So welcome to another video where we're going to find out how many buy-to-let or rental properties we need to allow us to retire. And you may be surprised at the findings because it can be achieved in a little amount of time with just a handful of properties. So let's dive straight in. So if you want to retire early or become financially independent, then property can be one of the best ways to go about it. And over the last few years, I've managed to build up a portfolio of 5 rental properties. And if you stick around to the end of this short video, I'll also be revealing exactly how much income they provide me every month, just to give you an idea and a realistic idea of what you can achieve. So what I've done to make this easier to explain, I've created this kind of ladder chart so that we can see how many properties we need to retire and how long it's going to take to get them. Now, obviously this is not set in stone because there are lots of variables involved, including the price of the property, how much rent you're going to get, the interest rates, and so on and so on. But I believe I've used what I believe to be an average, so to speak, and the figures in this example are easily achievable. So I'm basing this example on a £90,000 house with a 7% rental yield and a mortgage interest rate of 2.4%. Now these figures are very easily achievable. I'm not over exaggerating anything here or using examples that are just far out of reach, because these figures you can pretty much achieve in most areas and you don't have to go digging to find them. So a £90,000 house will require a £67,500 mortgage, and that's because the loan to value is usually 75%, which means you're going to have to cough up a 25% deposit. And an interest only mortgage at 2.4% will cost us £135 per month, and the rental income will be around £525 per month. So 525 minus 135 is £390 per month. Now from experience, I'm going to allow a 5% contingency because there are other costs involved, such as your landlord insurance, gas certificate, and some minor improvements or refurbishments to the property maybe. And of course there is tax. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed, because I will be making a lot more videos like this and teaching a lot more about property investing and general wealth building. So yeah, if you aren't a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button, and if you are a subscriber, please hit that bell button because you will then be notified every time I release a new video. So taking our costs into account, we're making around £360, £370 per month from each property. So from this figure, it's really simple to calculate how many properties we need to be able to retire. So we'll just go over this now and cover how many it's going to take, and then once we've done that, we're going to cover how long it's going to take to get them. Now, everybody's financial situation is different. Some people might comfortably be able to live off £1,500 per month if they're already in a good financial situation, where another person might require £3,000 per month just to keep up with their current lifestyle. So please keep in mind that everybody is different. So the example that I'm using in this video, I've tried to create this just on a general basis for what I believe to be the average person. So looking at this chart, we can see how many rental properties we need to reach our retirement level, so to speak. So with 3 properties, we can achieve £1,100 per month. And as you can see, as we move down further and further, if we get to 5, 6 or 7, we start reaching between £2,000 and £3,000 per month, which I believe for a lot of people is a good income to be able to retire on. And it will certainly cover most of your outgoings. So as you can see from this chart, just 3 modest rental properties give us over £1,000 profit per month. And if you're already in a comfortable financial situation, then £1,100 per month is probably going to cover your expenses and day-to-day living. Now, for me personally, I would say that 6 is more like a realistic number. I mean, if you can achieve 6 rental properties and it'll give you a profit of over £2,200 per month, then I'd say that's more of a realistic figure to be able to achieve financial independence or retire on. Again, it might be slightly more, it may be slightly less depending on your circumstances. Now, this certainly isn't a great amount, and we're not talking about building massive property portfolios or massive empires. We're just talking about half a dozen properties, a handful, if that, of rental properties to achieve financial freedom. And when you put it like that, you can see and understand why so many people have become rich or wealthy or retired through property alone. So over £2,000 a month profit from this semi-passive income stream seems pretty good to me. Now, I know that property does involve ongoing work, but from personal experience, I can honestly say that it is around 90% passive. And from experience, I probably have to handle maybe one situation or call out to a property, say every 2 months. And even then, it only takes up about an hour or two of my time. So what I'm trying to say is, half a dozen properties is certainly not going to be a burden on your life or take up all your time. Having half a dozen properties is actually a comfortable amount to manage and run, and also be able to achieve all the benefits that come with retirement. Now, for those of you that think it sounds like hard work or a lot of mither, then you must understand that to be successful in life, you have to work hard towards your goals. You have to work hard at what you want to achieve. You have to put in the effort to gain the rewards. Simple as that. Now, you can build a property portfolio if you put your mind to it. And I can tell you from first-hand experience that it really is worth it. Seeing multiple rental payments landing in my bank account every month is extremely satisfying. So don't doubt yourself, just put it on yourself to take action and start now. Don't wait or put it off or think, oh, I can't do it, leave it up to somebody else, they can do it. Don't think any of the negative thoughts. Anybody can get involved in property, so you shouldn't really have any excuses not to if you want to achieve financial independence or retirement. And the fact that you're still watching this video probably suggests that you do want to achieve those kind of goals. And if you do, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, as it will really help with my channel and with the Google algorithm apparently, so I'd be really appreciative if you did. So that's my inspirational speech over. So now you're probably wondering how long it takes to build up a portfolio of 6 properties. Well, let's look at this based on the same figures that we've already used in the example previous. To buy a £90,000 house, you're going to need a 25% deposit, which is £22,500, plus around £5,000 for solicitors' fees, stamp duty and any extras that are involved. So in total, this is £27,500. Now, this is going to be your hardest purchase because you're going to have to save all your hard-earned money and then invest it into something that you literally have no experience in. But certainly don't let that put you off because, as I've already mentioned, the rewards far outweigh the risks. Now, there are certainly ways in which you can enter the buy-to-let market without using your own money, and I have and will discuss this in other videos. But for argument's sake, let's say that you saved up the money and now you're ready to purchase your first buy-to-let. Now, once you have one buy-to-let under your belt, you will use this to leverage towards your next property. So you're not going to have to save up that £27,500 over and over again, because from the moment you have your first property, that is bringing in rent. And that rent can then be saved, which can then be put towards your next property. So £370 per month rental from your property number 1 will give you £4,440 per year. So over 2 years, that's £8,880 profit. Now, the reason I'm using 2 years is because the majority of loans, the majority of mortgages are based on a 2-year fixed term. So after that initial 2 years, you can remortgage that property, and if there's any positive equity in the property, you can change lenders and withdraw that positive equity. Now, let's say that your property has increased by a very modest 5% per year. Based on this example, that will give you £4,500 positive equity, which you can now withdraw. So add that to the £8,880 rent that you've made, you now have £13,380, and that's just off one property. So if at this point you wanted to buy your second property, you only have to add £14,000 of your own money. That's £588 per month you'd have to save, by the way. And I also want to mention that when you do release equity, you are in essence increasing your mortgage, so you can expect your mortgage payments to rise slightly. Now, if you can't save £14,000 extra over these 2 years, then don't worry. It just means that it's going to take us longer to achieve the next property, or you're going to have to find other ways of funding it. So once you have 2 properties, your money starts to work for you faster. So your £4,440 per year profit now becomes £8,880 per year profit. So 2 years later, you could have £17,760 solely from rental income from 2 properties, which, to be honest, isn't far off you being able to afford your 3rd property. So I hope you can start to see now how quickly it can snowball and you can start to build a portfolio. So I'm sure you can see the pattern here. The more properties you own, the quicker you can buy your next one. And once you get to 6 properties, not only will you have enough to retire, but you'll also have enough income to be able to buy another property, in fact, 1 property every year. Then imagine how much you'll be making a month. And this is the power of compounding and leveraging your assets to build more assets. So breaking this down, if you're able to save for your first property, then you should be able to build a portfolio of 6 properties within 10 years, providing that you can also save a little extra every month to put towards your deposits. Now, if you can't afford to carry on saving money as well as your rentals, then it doesn't mean you can't achieve your goals. It just means it's going to take a little bit longer, or you'll have to find other ways to source the funds. So at the beginning of this video, I said I'd show you my current situation and how much my current portfolio makes per month. So here goes. I currently own 5 buy-to-lets, which brings in a monthly revenue of £2,410. The total mortgage payments are around £700, and with the 5% contingency that I mentioned earlier, and that leaves me with a clear profit of £1,600 per month. I know it's a tad less than in the example I gave earlier, but that's because the first 2 or 3 houses that I purchased were actually a lot lower than £90,000, so the rental income is slightly lower on those as well. I also have some extra equity in all 5 of these houses, which I could at any point draw down, but I personally chosen to keep this equity in the houses because if there was to be a property crash or house prices dropped, then I've got a bigger safety cushion, as I certainly don't want to be going into negative equity. Because I currently have good cash flow with all these properties, I don't actually need the money to draw down. So once you start to build up a decent sized portfolio, then you can actually get by without having to draw down your equity. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the thumbs up button, as this really helps with my channel and the Google algorithm. And if you're still contemplating on getting started with property, then just get started. And I hope this video has inspired you and made you realise that you can actually retire from property in a few short years with just a small number of properties. You don't have to build a massive empire. Just 6 will do it.